Hello, music fans. In my recent If I Were the Producer video, I talked about some albums that are double albums that could probably be single albums and still be really good. One of the ones that I mentioned was the Beatles White Album. I also talked about maybe The Wall by Pink Floyd and The Astonishing by Dream Theater falling into that category of just kind of being too long and having a little bit of filler. And uh, I think they're all good albums and great albums actually. But I wonder if people would like them more if they were um, if the best songs were taken and made into a single album rather than a double album. So currently, the Beatles' White Album is 2 discs, and it's how long is it in total? Like 93 minutes or so. What if I tried to make something that's more like 40, 47 minutes? So it could fit onto one LP, one vinyl record. Could I make a better record that way? I think I have. So I'm going to share with you my track list. I know other people have thought the same thing, and everybody kind of says that this album has some fat that can be trimmed, but then when everybody makes their list of what should be on it, everybody's is different. So here's mine, and I'll go in my order of the kind of sequence that you should listen to them in, the sequence that I would put them on this album. So the songs that I'm planning on keeping are Dear Prudence as the opening song. It would be a beautiful opener, Lennon on vocals. That would then go into Glass Onion, which is the order that they're in on the actual album, which picks up the tempo a bit, still has Lennon on vocals. Then the next track, the third track, would be the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, and this is where it would get weirder, opening with that Spanish flamenco guitar and going into an adventurous, silly song, also with Lennon and Yoko Ono on vocals. Then into While My Guitar Gently Weeps as the fourth track, which is a beautiful song with Harrison on vocals. Then Happiness is a Warm Gun, which is a through composed multi-part song that's reminiscent of progressive rock actually, but it's just a short 3-minute song with Lennon on vocals. Then into Martha My Dear, a nice bouncy piano song accompanied by strings that sound like something that might be in a Broadway musical with McCartney on vocals. Then Helter Skelter, a heavy rocker, one of the first kind of proto-metal songs, also with McCartney on vocals. And that would be the end of side one of the LP. So that's about 24 minutes right there. So what did I keep out? You'll notice that I cut Back in the USSR. I'm not really a fan of that kind of, I don't know, that kind of rock and roll type sound on that song. Never really did it for me. Also cut Obla Di Obla Da. Again, that one never really excited me. I cut Wild Honey Pie. That's just a 52-second, almost a joke song. It's a throwaway track for sure. I think everybody knows it. And then I cut Don't Pass Me By. That would not be on the album. That's the one song that's written by Ringo Starr. And I mean, it's no secret that he's kind of, at this point, he's not the best songwriter in the Beatles. Well, he's obviously the worst. Let's just throw it out there. He's not bad, but compared to Lennon, McCartney, and Harrison, he's just not up to their level. And then I also cut Why Don't We Do It in the Road, which is a bit of a joke throwaway track as well. So those were the songs that I cut from disc one. Actually, there's two more I cut these two were a bit harder for me to cut, which was I Will and Julia, because they're both really beautiful songs, but I just needed to make room for some more variety. So I've kind of told you now the songs that I've cut from disc one and the songs that I'm putting on side one of my version. So what songs will I put on side two of this condensed Beatles White Album? So side two on my version that I'm remaking now will open with Blackbird, which is a beautiful acoustic opener with finger picking and McCartney on vocals. That one has to stay on here. Then it'll go into Piggies, which is a silly song about piggies with Harrison on vocals. It has a bit of a Baroque vibe with the prominence of harpsichord and orchestral strings. Then that goes into Rocky Raccoon, a folky, almost country western sounding song with McCartney on vocals with harmonica, great melody, and a story. Then that'll go into Revolution 1, a bluesy rocker with Lennon on vocals, which will go into Honey Pie, not to be confused with Wild Honey Pie. Honey Pie is a piano song with McCartney on vocals, and when the beat comes in, it's bouncy and like Broadway musical theater with horns. Next, it will go to Savoy Truffle, which is a rocking song with Harrison on vocals. Then to I'm So Tired, which is a song that has an A part and a B part, and the A part reminds me of kind of a 1950s ballad. And then the B part's a little more rocking. Lennon's on vocals here. And the whole condensed album will finish off with the song Good Night, which is a good album closer and the only one on here where Ringo Starr is on vocals. It's kind of like a peaceful, beautiful lullaby. Now, I think if we took all those songs, that would be the condensed, perfect one disc Beatles White Album. So I'll rattle them off quickly again. Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, Continuing Story of Bungalow Bill, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Happiness is a Warm Gun, Martha My Dear, Helter Skelter, Blackbird, Piggies, Rocky Raccoon, Revolution 1, Honey Pie, Savoy Truffle, I'm So Tired, Good Night. So what other songs did I cut? From disc 2, I cut Birthday. I don't really get the appeal of that song. I cut Your Blues. I cut Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey. I cut Long, Long, Long. I also cut Cry Baby Cry. And then obviously I had to cut Revolution 9, the kind of abstract art version of a song, which is just ambient noise and somebody saying number nine over and over again for 8 minutes. That had to be cut if we're trimming the fat on this album. I think everybody knows it. Everybody cuts that one if they're trying to make a single disc version of this. The more difficult ones to cut were Mother Nature's Son and Sexy Sadie, but just had to cut them just to make all of this fit. So my side one ended up being 24 minutes, side two ended up being 23 minutes. So in total, I have about a 47-minute album. So I cut this 93-minute double album into a 47-minute single album, and that's how you make it more consistent quality. And I think if they had released the version that I just said, everybody would say it's one of their best albums, if not their best. But the fact that they included a bunch of those songs that I mentioned that I took off kind of made for an album that was a bit more of a having some peaks and valleys, had some filler, and some people get a bit fed up with it, people that don't have patience. I still love it even as a double album. But I think it'd be pretty cool if it was a single album. The downside is we would have missed out on a lot of those great songs that I had to cut. So I'm kind of, in some ways, glad that they didn't make it a single album, that they made it a double album and had all these. But I think it'd be cool. It's a cool hypothetical to think about if they had made a more condensed, high quality output here. And that's it for this first video of turning a double album into a single album. Thinking of doing the same thing for The Wall by Pink Floyd and for The Astonishing by Dream Theater. if anybody's interested in those. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I haven't really condensed those down yet, but I think I can. So until next time, stay tuned for those. Peace out.